Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be the cure for women jerking you around. Well, I've got two different emails that I'm going to go through with you today. And these emails, what I really liked about them is you get the first guy that is not really handling himself that well. He's doing a few things that make himself look weak in his text exchanges with this woman that he met. He's trying to make a date with her, but she's just kind of jerking him around. You can tell he's being a little too nice, a little too compliant. And the second guy is doing a much better job of standing up for himself. And so he sends in their exchange, and they're trying to plan dates. I think he went on two different dates with her so far, but obviously she's still trying to jerk him around. And what I really liked about the second email is, I've said this many, many times. I've talked about it in my book, How to Be a 3% Man. I've talked about it in a bunch of videos over the years. And this one, you get a good sense of what's going on here, is that when women are testing you, in other words, like in this particular case, he's busy and he only has 1 or 2 days off a week where he can go out or make dates, things of that nature. And so he plans things in advance. And this woman is trying to get him to just drop what he's doing at a moment's notice and make last minute plans. And so you see there's like 3, 4, 5 different ways to where she gets him to cave. Even one time they're on a date, she goes on his diatribe for about 10 minutes trying to convince him why he just basically needs to be at her beck and call. Now, you got to imagine a very attractive woman who has lots of guys that want to go out with her, and she's trying to separate which guys are dominant and masculine and they're not going to let her waste their time, and which guys are weak and compliant, so she knows who to spend her time with. Because if she's really hot, she's really attractive, more than likely she's got plenty of options. And so she's going to look for the guy that she can't have her way with, that's mysterious, that she can't jerk him around. And humor and playfulness, but also being firm, is the right way to approach these things, to separate women that are just tire kickers, if you will, to borrow a term from sales, and somebody who's a motivated buyer, if you will, meaning they're ready to buy what you're selling today, which obviously in this case is spending time with you. So with that said, I got a quote that I wrote, and then we're going to go through the first guy's email so you can kind of see the way not to do it and the way to handle it, the proper way to handle it. Because the first guy ain't getting dates, he's just getting jerked around. The second guy is getting dates, but also I think he probably could have been a little more playful, a little more firm, because one of the things that you'll notice is that when you really like a woman, you're really fucking into her, and you're really attracted to her, and you can tell she likes you. Maybe she thinks you're just kind of cute, and you can tell she's interested, but she's not super interested. You being really super attracted to her and interested, and this is a place I've come to in my life, it's a lot easier to be this way with women you really like and you really want to go out with, versus a woman that you're just kind of like, because you don't really, women that you're not that into, you're not really willing to try that hard and really get the best part of your personality into it. And that's why humor goes a long way. But the most important thing is, as my book says, woman of your dreams, how to meet and date the kind of women you've always wanted, not just an average mediocre woman. Because the reality is, women that you really like, that are really spectacular, that you're really attracted to, you're going to have a lot more fun with, and you're going to put the effort in a sustained way, versus women that you're just kind of settling for, if you will. It's really important. If you think about your closest friends, your closest guy friends, your buddies that you have the most fun with, it's easy, it's effortless to be with them. You really like hanging out, you have a blast together, and vice versa. And so if you're going to have high quality friendships, you also want to have high quality romantic relationships, because any area of your life you start settling, it justifies settling in all the rest of the areas of your life, and it affects you in a negative way. And this is what gets in the way of reaching your full potential, because 95% of the people you're going to meet are settling in most areas of their life. I think, what is it, close to 90% of people are out of shape, don't work out, or obese in the West now. I mean, it's just, all you got to do is go outside and walk around and look. So if you take good care of yourself and you're slim, you got a little bit of muscle on you, you're 95% head and shoulders above your competition. Makes things a lot easier for you. So let's go through the quote, and they'll get in this first guy's email. The quote says, women are attracted to men who display dominant masculine traits and that they can't jerk around. Men who know what they want, go for what they want, and won't tolerate time wasters and tire kickers. Women who have lots of romantic options often display flaky, indecisive, and inconsistent behavior to test the strength of their potential male suitors. This is how they separate the men from the boys. The boys will allow themselves to be jerked around, toyed with, and confused by their behavior, which you'll see the first guy, he's confused by our behavior. The men will be direct, decisive, and get straight to the point of making definite dates with a definite day, time, and place to meet, or they will politely withdraw the offer and make plans with someone else who not only values their time, but who is flexible, easygoing, and excited to make plans with them. I wanted to accentuate those key terms there. Flexible, easygoing, and excited to make plans. Wouldn't you rather spend time with somebody who really wants to be there versus somebody that you're kind of having to talk into it? It's a lot more easy and effortless that way. So let's go to the first guy's email. It says, hey, Corey, this is Bob. I'm a big fan of yours, and I listened to your book 12 times and started the 13th time. I love it every time I listen to it, and I have seen lots of your YouTube videos too. Thanks for helping guys like me all over the world. Coach, my question is that I like a girl and she's very pretty. I know her aunt, and a few months ago I gave my number to her aunt to give it to her because I don't see the girl too much. Well, more than likely you saw her, but you kind of bitched out. So right away, if you really like a girl, because you said she's really pretty and you've interacted with her, but you didn't do anything, and then you're going to her aunt. In other words, you're trying to avoid rejection in person. So that's not making you look very confident. So right off the bat, you're displaying weakness. So keep in mind, he says he's listened to the book 12 times. The book, 3% Man, is only helpful if you read it and apply it. Knowledge only becomes potential power when you apply it. And if you haven't started with 3% Man yet, go to understandingrelationships.com. The first thing you're going to see on a mobile device is the email sign-up box. And if you're on a laptop or a desktop computer, it'll be in the upper right-hand corner of every page. Put your name and your email address in there. Hit submit. It'll take you right to the members area. If you want to download it, this is really important. If you want to download it, you have to do it on a desktop or a laptop computer. You won't be able to download it on a mobile device because it'll try to take you to the Scrib site and they'll ask you to subscribe and pay like $10 a month or whatever the hell it is. Because I get some emails from guys doing that. So if you want to download the PDF version from the members area, you have to do it through a desktop or a laptop. But on a mobile device, you can at least scroll through it and read the book. So I highly recommend that you do that right now. Maybe pause the video, go to understandrelationships.com, and start reading the book so you can learn the fundamentals. But again, this guy's read it 12 times, but probably hasn't practiced very often. And you can tell he's really not following, which you'll see in a second, what the book teaches. So now keep in mind, he's gone to the aunt, which is going to make him, not making him, helping him look confident. Let's put it that way. So he gives the aunt the number, and he didn't, because he didn't see her too much. I'd say probably it's because he chickened out when he saw her in person. He says, but no response came from the girl for the next few months, and I never asked her aunt any kind of questions about her. I was like, if she is interested, she will call me, or otherwise I will find someone else because of your coaching. Well, that's the right attitude. So that part you got correct. But then again, you made yourself look weak. It's better to do it in person. Be bold, take risks, young man. But a few days ago, the girl came with her cousin to my gas station where I work, and her cousin gave me her number on a napkin, which said, call me, with a heart. So after work, I called her, but she didn't pick up, and so I texted her then. Then she said, can you please text me because she is busy with her friends right now. So I assume he called her, and then she texted him back saying, hey, text me. So it's very masculine, like I talk about in 3% Man, to call versus texting. But either way, you can text, you can call. I'm saying if you want to look more confident, it shows more balls, to call. And because then you can hear the tone of her voice. It's a lot easier to react to the tone of her voice, or especially if that phone call turns into a FaceTime. Then you can see her face, her body language, her physiology. It's a lot better than just a text, because 9 times out of 10, if you're trying to be funny through text, you're going to probably say something that's a little inappropriate, especially if you're trying to be funny and a little cocky, and it won't come off right. So you don't want to sandbag yourself, sandbag your success unnecessarily. He says, we exchanged a few texts, and then I asked her out, but no response came from her. So these are the kinds of signs. Remember, I talk about how dating's like a game of tennis. He texted her. She doesn't reply back when he asked her out on a date. He says, then I texted her the next day, and she started texting again. So he sent me his text exchange, which I'm going to pull up in a second and go through it. And then you can further see kind of where he's going wrong. You can see also, she's, just like you'll see in the second email, this girl is testing him and trying to see what he's made of. Kind of playing games, jerking him around, and he's kind of falling for it because he doesn't really know any better. He says, can you let me know where I made mistakes or what I should do from here, because I am confused. So let me pull up his text exchange, and we'll go through it. All right. So we'll call her Jessica because I use that all the time, and we'll call him Bob. So here's his text. He says, this is his first one. So, hey, Jessica, this is Bob. Call me when you're free. She says, LOL. Hey, Bob, can you just text me? I'm busy right now. So I assume that was because he called and then he texted her right afterwards. He says, sure, no problem. How are you doing today? I would have said, what are you guys up to today? Obviously, I assume he's texting her right after she left the gas station. So I would have said, hey, what are you guys up to today? Instead of, how are you doing today? That's kind of boring. Hey, how are you? She says, I'm good. Just going to get some food with some friends now. What are you doing? Notice how she says, what are you up to? He says, awesome. I just reached the gym. I'm going to work out. Ooh, sounds fun, with a little heart emoji from her. He says, yes, it is. I like it. Did you work today? LOL, no, I was off today, but I'm at IHOP now eating. And she puts a little laughing face with laughing so hard the tears are coming out, the emoji. I don't know what you call that one. I'm sure somebody will post it in the comments. Coach, don't you know the proper names of the emojis? So he responds back, it seems like you are in love with IHOP, LOL. What days are you off normally? She says Mondays and Tuesdays right now. He says, do you like Mexican food? She says, duh, LOL. He says, awesome. You want to go to a real hacienda on Tuesday night at 8 p.m.? So she just leaves him hanging, doesn't reply. Remember, it's like a game of tennis. And so what does he do? So that text it looks like he texted her the next day after he didn't hear from her. So again, remember, he kind of made himself look weak. He called, then texted. So he's kind of double texting there, not really giving her a chance to reply, because a lot of women will do this. Guys get impatient and they send multiple texts. That makes them look a little needy. And remember, she's being kind of rude. If you think about it, if she's waiting a whole day or hasn't replied in a day, sometimes they'll wait a week or two just to see what you do. Because remember, if she's got multiple guys hitting on her, then you're like, hey, you didn't get my last text. So, which is basically what he says next. He says, hey, Jessica, I was just wondering if you were all right and reached home safely yesterday, because I didn't get any text from you after the last text. She says, hey, I'm okay, LOL. I just suck at texting. I would have said, well, hopefully you're a better kisser than you are a texter. But he says, it's all good, LOL. We suck at something. What's the best way to communicate with you? Any options, LOL? She says, LOL, I don't know. In person, I guess. He says, well, what's the best option in my opinion too? And the best part is I can look at one of the best creations made by God. You laying on a little thick there, dude. Blech. Bottom line is you already texted her. She knows you like her. She says, oh my gosh, you're so funny. Thank you. That's so sweet. Well, I was serious about the creation, LOL. Are you a shy girl, though? LOL, what do you mean by that? She says. Well, the way I saw you talk at the gas station and now texting, I just feel that you feel shy talking to me. I was just asking if you were shy and we need to meet somewhere. Maybe we can choose your favorite place where you feel a little comfortable and don't feel too shy. So you're kind of making assumptions here. But what's really going on is she's just tweaking your balls. See what you're made of. She says, LOL, I like the idea. Have you ever been to J Gumbo's? I guess that's the name of the restaurant. Not yet, but we can. She says it's really good, LOL. Or we could go somewhere we could get a drink too. So that's good. But what he says next is, which is the best place you feel really comfortable? So remember, direct, decisive, get to the point. Extend an invitation, invite her to join you. Now he's going, where would you like to go, Your Highness? And notice what she does. LOL, I don't know. What do you like? So in other words, she's hitting the ball back and basically saying, make a decision. You're supposed to be the man. He says everything, LOL. Well, what we can do is first go to J Gumbo's and then we'll see how it goes from there. Now notice what she does next. Laughing my ass off. No, I want to go somewhere else. So she's kind of seeing what he's made of. She's changing the plans, jerking him around because she's got the impression that he's just gonna wilt. All she has to do is try to intimidate him a little bit and he's gonna back down. And notice what he says next. Well, I can go anywhere. How about you tell me the options you feel comfortable and then we will decide. Now you're asking her to be the man and make all the choices and decisions instead of inviting her. And what happens next? Nothing. She completely leaves him hanging. So obviously he hasn't written in since this exchange. So he's like, what would I do? There's really not a lot to do in this case. You got to be patient and let her reach back out to you. But I wouldn't be saying things like that. I would have, this J Gumbo's, I said, great. When she says, left my ass off, no, I want to go somewhere else. Say, no, J Gumbo's sounds awesome. Unless you got a better idea, let's plan on J Gumbo's. What night are you? Well, remember, she said Tuesdays or Wednesdays. How about Wednesday at 8 or Tuesday at 8, whatever happens to be? And see what she says. And remember, if she's really excited to see you and really likes you, has high interest, she'll make definite plans. This girl obviously has really low interest. So it was obvious she was willing to interact with you, but because her attraction was low, you really can't make a lot of mistakes in the text exchange. And therefore, that's why she kind of just left him hanging. So the key is just let it be at this point. You're waiting for her to respond, and if she does, nail her down, be direct, decisive, get to the point. So what you got here, to summarize, is a woman with low interest, not too into you, but she was willing to give you a shot. She asked you to make a decision, and then you didn't. And then you made a decision, and then she says, I don't want to go there. I want to go somewhere else. And what did you say? You said whatever you want to do. So it just comes off as very beta in your response, and that's why she left you hanging. You really couldn't make too many mistakes with her before she blew you off. So she may reach out. And what you'll notice with this next email I'm going to go through, there was one time where she didn't reply to this dude for 10 days. So he's kind of in a similar situation. He met her on a dating app. So let's go through and see what he did differently. And so this guy's a little more firm. He's not willing to let her jerk him around. So he says, hi, Corey. I met her on Bumble. She is so hot and was really cool on chat. So on a Wednesday, I asked her for her availability. She gave me a maybe date for the weekend, so I left it for another time. Remember, as I talk about in 3% Man, if she's not willing to make definite plans, you withdraw the offer and say, well, let's just do it another time. If she's really interested, she'll say, no, I can. Then she'll make plans with you. It's just a test of your strength, especially if she's got lots of options. And like he said, she's really hot. So she's, if she's on Bumble or any other dating app, she's probably got 30 different dudes throwing their dicks at her or more. And probably several of them that are going to be better looking than you. So your game's got to be tight in order to get the date versus the other guys that she's chatting with. So he says the next Monday I asked her out again. So obviously I assume he waited a week try to remember because we wait 2 weeks here. She gave me a definite date for Thursday. Notice how her attitude changed. She went from, and the other thing is she could be in a different headspace. Maybe the other guys that she liked more than you, and that's why she was like, yeah, I'm not really that into this guy. And maybe it didn't work out with those other dudes, or maybe they displayed weakness, or maybe they blew her off. And now all of a sudden you reach out a week later, she's in a different headspace, and boom, she makes a date with you. That's why being patient and practicing infinite patience and not being in such a fucking rush can really work to your advantage and cause a woman who was just kind of like, to, oh, hey, I'm glad he got in touch with me. And she's noticed she's more flexible now. So the date went great, and we kissed in her car a couple of times when she drove me home. The next Tuesday, so they went out on a, let's see. So they had a date on a Thursday, so he reached out the next Tuesday, which is what, 3-4 days later. So we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, about 5 days later. So next Tuesday, I asked her out again, but she told me that she didn't know her schedule, so I told her to contact me when she figured it out. Remember, if one of your friends is like, hey, let's get together, it's like, oh, I'm not sure of my schedule. I mean, I got some of my closest friends are like this, and they travel, they're busy, they got shit going on, and we'll try to arrange getting together for lunch or dinner or something sometimes, and we're like, hey, what's your schedule? He's like, I'm not sure of my schedule, but, I'll get back to you. And sometimes it might be 10 days because they're traveling or whatever. And then I'll get a text 10 days later or a week later, hey, sorry to get back to you sooner, but, just got back in town, or I'll be back in town Wednesday, what's your schedule like Friday, Saturday, whatever it happens to be, and we'll make plans. If you think about it from that perspective, they're your friend and they've been in your life for a long time. So you're like, oh, sure, no problem. Give me a call when you get back in town, or give me a call when you figure out your schedule, or hey, I got a lot of meetings next week. I'm not sure when I'm available. I definitely want to get to lunch together, bro, and catch up. So you do that with your friends. And so if you think about it, it's the same perspective with women. But what most guys do is like if they don't get something right now, they think, oh, shit, something's wrong. And they try to force things. And that's where you get double texting and things of that nature. So I like what he did here. He says, hey, get in touch with me when you figure out your schedule. So 10 days later, so this is a week and a half later, she contacted me on a Friday evening, and I replied the next morning. Remember, so she's trying to get him to drop what he's doing to spend time with her. Maybe what happened was there was another guy she wanted to spend time with, and things didn't work out with that dude, and that's why she's reaching out on a Friday night. Maybe she got blown off. And so he did the right thing, because, again, he's only went out on one date with her, and she waited 10 fucking days to get back to him. So he waits till the next morning. Because let her fucking wonder. It's like she took 10 days to get back to you. You match a mirror back to her. You get back to her the next morning. You're fucking busy. Let her wonder, maybe you're out on a date with somebody else. So he replies the next morning, and then she replies that evening. And then he replies on Sunday afternoon and asked her out again. She didn't give me a day. And so in a funny way, I told her it was done. So this is where we're starting to get into, like I talked about in the beginning of the video, where she wants him to drop what he's doing at last minute because she's trying to test him. So think about it. She's got 10 different dudes, and all of them want to go out with her, and she's trying to figure out which one is more masculine. So she's going to see which one she can get away with fucking with and which one she can't. So remember, she was flaky when he asked her out the first time. And then the next week, she made a definite date. They went out, they kissed. So the guy's thinking, hey, this is progressing. Now, the average guy doesn't know any better. He's going to be like, is there something wrong? We had such a great time the other night. The reality is you're just probably one of the many dudes she's talking to, and you're probably not the one that's her favorite at this point. And so by handling these things properly, you can cause her, you can actually be the one who raises her attraction level when there's another dude, 2 or 3 other dudes she's talking to that are way better looking and in better shape than you. So he replies Sunday afternoon, asked her out again. She didn't give me a day in a funny way, so I told her I was done. So again, she's trying to be evasive, trying to jerk him around, trying to see if he's going to be okay with being a backup plan and playing second fiddle And in other words, you'll see oftentimes, and this happened in a video I did a couple weeks ago. Let me think. It was the cure for flaky women, I think it was, where you see a woman trying to see if she can get away with jerking around. The guy drops what he's doing to make plans with her, and then she fucking blows him off anyways. In other words, trying to see how compliant you are, how masculine you are, how much you're willing to let her waste your time or not. So, in other words, so he says, in a funny way, I told her I was done, that if she's not going to give me a definite date, I was out of there. So, in other words, you politely withdraw the offer in a humorous way. You're not butthurt. You're not offended about it. You're just, if you got several people you're trying to fit in your own schedule because you're busy yourself, then you're not going to leave your only 1 or 2 nights open for her to jerk you around. You'd rather make plans with somebody who's excited and flexible, like I talked about in the quote, to make plans with. It shows that your time is valuable, and as hot as she is, you're not going to let this hot girl waste it, whereas most of the guys she's talking to are going to let her waste their time. She seemed scared, so she rushed to ask me out on a Tuesday, and we set a definite date. So on Tuesday, the date went great, but at the bar, she refused to kiss me when I told her to do it in a charming way. At the end of the date, she brought up the subject of setting dates. So here now she's taking a run at him to see what his compliance is. And told me that she only plans dates in advance with friends, but with guys she just plans at the last minute. With guys that she's not that into, she plans at the last minute because it's better than staying home and staring at the 4 walls. Remember, she texted him late on a Friday night because probably her plans fell through. He told her that I always plan my weekends in advance and left it at that. In that moment, I was so turned off by her that when she drove me home and was about to kiss me goodnight, I gave her the cheek. So that's kind of funny. We'll go through what he says happened here. And it's good that he gave her the cheeks. He's given her, remember, you're matching and mirroring her behavior. She was shocked, and I told her if she's not going to plan dates with me in advance, that I was out of there. She tried to convince me for 10 minutes that it was okay for me to be her backup plan. I always refused with a smile on my face and walked away. So if she's shocked that you gave her the cheek, he's like, you look disappointed. You really wanted to kiss me, didn't you? Then you grab her mouth and you slowly move her over and then you kiss her. That's what I would have done differently in that situation. But he got a little buttered. He got a little upset. But I like the fact that he gave her the fucking cheek. It's kind of funny. As long as you're doing it with a smile on your face and it's like you don't really care one way or another, you're just as detached to the whole thing as she is, it creates attraction because you can take it or leave it as well. If you have options and you have an abundance mentality, you're not going to care. She tried to convince me for 10 minutes it was okay for me to be her backup plan, and I always refused with a smile on my face and walked away. Later, she messaged me saying that she didn't know what to say, that she was stunned. The next day, she messaged me again asking if she said or did something wrong or did just the setting dates matter. I teased her a little bit and told her that I would love to see her again, but only if she was willing to set definite dates in advance with me. Good. He's reiterating again, definite plans are no deal in a charming and a playful way. And she's trying several different ways to get him to fucking cave. On Friday morning, she told me that it wasn't a date planned in advance, but if I was free that evening, that she wanted to see me. I told her I was busy, but we could go out Sunday. So notice what she did there. Remember, what did she say to him? Well, I only go out with guys if it's a last-minute thing. So she's texting him on a Friday night saying, again on a Friday night, because she's got nothing else going, will you drop what you're doing and spend time with me? It's another subtle way. And the average guy's going to think, oh, this is great. Let me drop what I'm doing. I'll cancel my plans with my friends, and I'll go out with her because she's really hot. So he says, I told her I was busy, but we could go out on Sunday. She agreed to it. And on Sunday morning, which was yesterday, she canceled on me with a reasonable excuse, but didn't bring up a reschedule. Because of a 1-month trip that starts on Wednesday for vacations, I told her it was okay and left it at that. Thanks to your book, I was able to stand up for myself and didn't let her convince me to be her backup plan. Would you have done something different? So the reality is that I like how you handled yourself. I mean, there's a couple things, it depends on how much you like her. Like I talked about in the video, when you really like a girl and you're really into her, it's easy to be playful and funny and say ridiculous shit that you don't really take things too seriously. But what I don't like is that she's canceling at the last minute. She's purposely trying to jerk him around and have her way with him. It's a little bit of passive aggressive behavior. And there's some women out there that'll make a date with you and cancel at the last minute just to fucking go to give you the finger because you roughed up their ego. Remember, what are we looking for? Ideally, what do we want? A woman with a good attitude who doesn't take shit too seriously, doesn't take herself too seriously, doesn't take life too seriously. She's easygoing, she's flexible. So does she sound somebody who's easygoing and flexible, or is she being really difficult unnecessarily? In my opinion, it's like I want a woman who's like, oh God, yeah, she clears her schedule. I'm available Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'd love to see her. Or I'm available Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Or I'm available. My schedule's wide open this week. Ideally, that's what you want to hear. But the lower the interest of a woman, the more you're going to hear things like this. And like I said, he did a good job of interacting with her. So I think you did great, dude. You should be fucking proud of yourself. You didn't let her jerk you around. He says, I will do no contact with her. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up a little bit. So obviously she didn't bring up a reschedule. And he says, because of a 1-month trip that starts Wednesday for vacations, I told her it was okay and left it as that. So he's going out of town for a month anyways. So he says, thanks to your book, I was able to stand up for myself and not let her convince me to be her backup plan. Would you have done something different? I will do no contact with her in my vacations, and if she does reach out, I will keep it really short. I will be busy having fun. If she contacts me when I'm back, I will ask her out one more time. So if she reaches out when you're on this vacation and you got time, it was like, oh, I'm having a blast here, but if you got some time, let's catch up and do a video Skype date. Let's have a glass of wine together or something. See if she'll make a date on video chat. Because remember, you're not going to see her for a whole month. So again, you're looking for flexibility. And if she really wants to chat with you, that'd be a good sign. And again, you're trying to see if she's flexible. So see if she'll do a video date. But if your schedule's all jammed up and you can't talk to her, I mean, she wasn't really willing to go out of her way to make plans with you. I mean, she was really difficult. And so you spent a lot of time texting and interacting with her and very little time going out on dates. If she gives me another maybe date, I will stop asking her out until she gives me what I want. Do you agree? Well, like I said, I would look at a woman like this in this kind of situation as somebody just to get good with your banter skills and being playful. And look at the fact that, I mean, she's not really opening the door. Remember I talked about in the book, the Adam Carolla quote. It's like when a woman likes you, the door is open and all you got to do is walk through them. But if the door starts slamming in your face, you walk away. And so she's not really willing to accommodate you. So I don't see a lot of flexibility on her part. I don't see a lot of her being easygoing. She sounds like kind of a difficult pain in the ass. Me at 49 years old, I'm a hard ass at this point, It's like because I guess I've got kind of spoiled over the years, and I know when a woman really likes me and when one doesn't. And it's like, I wouldn't want to put up with this. But if you really like the girl and you have fun with her and you don't have a lot of other women that you can practice with, she's good practice to see if her attitude will change. But as you get good, and especially if you get some good options, you're just not going to want to put up with this particular nonsense. So I think you're doing great, dude. Here's to you. Here's to the 3% Club. You are definitely on your way. So good job. And if you like these particular mugs, underneath this video, you can click the link and go to Teespring. Or you can just go to teespring.com and search for Coach Corey Wayne. and find the mugs. I've got these. I've got, let me think, Come On Man. I've got No Drama Allowed. I got a bunch of those. Got a bunch of t-shirts if you guys are interested. And if you have a situation you'd like to get my help with, could be personal or professional, go to my website, understandingrelationships.com, and click the products tab at the top of your screen and book whatever coaching option works for you. And until then, I will talk to you soon.